Okay, in this video we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing fractions, but we're going to start with multiplying. So to multiply a fraction, you simply multiply the numerators straight across the top, and then multiply the denominators straight across the bottom, and then you simplify. And of course, if there's any positives and negatives, you still follow the rules of integers. So let's look at some examples. Let's say we want to do 4/9 times 3/36. So you would multiply across the top, 4 times 3, which gives you 12. Then you would do 9 times 36, which gives you 324. And then you simplify. It happens to simplify to be 1/27, because 324 is divisible by 12. Now, if this was an icky number, there is an easier way to do this. You can cross-simplify before you start. You do not have to do it this way, but I think it's easier. If you had looked before you ever started, you would have seen that 4 is a factor of 36, and you could have made this a 1 and this a 9. You would have also seen that 3 is a factor of 9, and you could have made this a 1 and this a 3. So when you multiplied, it was already simplified, and you would have done 1 times 1, gotten a 1 over here, 3 times 9, gotten 27 here. I skipped this big icky fraction altogether. It's not wrong either way. You can multiply 4 times 3 and get 12, 9 times 36 and get 324, or you can simplify it to start with. You could have also simplified right here. So if you want to simplify before multiplying, that's fine, or you can simplify at the end. As long as you end up with this, I'll be happy. Okay, let's look at this. When you multiply fractions, you cannot have mixed numbers. So remember, multiply times the denominator, add the top. 5 times 2, or 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1, you're going to get 11 halves, times 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2, so you have 5 thirds, right? Can I do any cross multiplying or cross simplifying? No, so we just multiply. 11 times 5 is 55. 2 times 3 is 6. And then we're going to simplify. 6 goes into 55 9 times with 1 left over. 1/6. So there's your answer. We didn't have this big icky fraction this time. That one was pretty easy. Since we started with mixed numbers, made it into an improper fraction, you kind of had a hint going into it. We're going to end up with a mixed number. So that's all there is to multiplying fractions. Multiply the 2 numerators, multiply the 2 denominators, simplify it. Always simplify when you're dealing with fractions. It's very important. It can cause you to get your answer wrong, or at least half off if it's my test. Wrong if it's an EOG. Now, dividing fractions, a lot like multiplying, but there's an extra step. So, when you divide fractions, you're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So, what is the reciprocal? It's the inverse. Inverse is just another way of saying the opposite of the fraction you're dividing by. So let's say we're doing 1/2 divided by 3/4. 3/4 is the one you want to use as your reciprocal. The reciprocal means you're going to flip it over. So when you're dividing fractions and you say, I forgot how to divide fractions, I'm going to say multiply by the reciprocal. So what are you going to do? You're going to take 3/4, you're going to flip it over. So when I want to divide 1/2 by 3/4, what I'm really going to do is say 1/2 times 4/3. So if I'm going to do 1/2 divided by 3/4, to get my answer, I'm going to say 1/2 times 4/3. So what is my answer to this problem? I don't know. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 4, 6. 4 and 6 are both even. I can simplify. 2/3 is my answer. So what is 1/2 divided by 3/4? Do this. 2/3. So how do you divide fractions? Multiply by the reciprocal. So you're not really dividing at all. Let's look at some examples. Okay. First, what is the reciprocal of 4/5? Remember, the reciprocal is what we call the inverse, or the opposite. So, reciprocal of 4/5 is 5/4. All I did was flip it over. All right, so let's do a couple examples of dividing. Again, when dividing fractions, you're really multiplying, so no mixed number. So this 4 times 6 is 24, plus 3, 27/4, divided by 3/8. But I'm not really dividing, so I'm going to make this 27/4 times 8/3. I don't want to multiply 27 times 8, but that's okay because I can cross simplify. This will become 1, this will become 2. This will become 1, this will become 9. That's a whole lot easier. 18/1. If you did not see that cross simplification, that's fine. You just multiplied 9 times 8, 4 times 3, and got something, but when you simplify, you better get this. Okay, in case you didn't see what I did, 8 is divisible by 4. 4 goes into 4 one time, it went into 8 two times. 3 and 27, 3 is a factor of 27, so 3 went into 3 one time. 3 went into 27 9 times. That's why we did factor trees. Okay, one more problem. Times and plus. 7 times 5 is 35 plus 2. 37/7, divided by 2 times 3 is 6, 7, 8. Okay, but not really dividing. I'm going to rewrite this. Multiplying by the reciprocal. Yuck, I cannot cross simplify this time, so I actually have to multiply 37 times 3. And I'm going to get 111 over 56. And 56 goes into 111 one time with 56 left over. Did I do that right? I believe I did. Okay, so multiplying fractions. Multiply straight across the top, the numerators. Multiply the denominators, simplify. Dividing fractions. Multiply by the reciprocal, simplify. There are several examples in your notes that we did not just do. I would like those done for class tomorrow.